People love questionnaires. There's something that excites us when we answer quizzes such as, which type of personality are you? Or which superhero are you? Or even, what item of furniture are you? Deep inside, we answer these pop quizzes mainly for the fun of it. But what if we took these quizzes seriously? Could we revise them in a way that would allow the answers to actually say something about ourselves? I think it's worth a try, don't you? The scientific study, development, and validation of psychological questionnaires is called psychometrics. Common online questionnaires are a subset of psychometric measures called self-report measures. These measures are often laid out in a question-answer format, where a respondent selects one of the predetermined answers to a question prompt. For example, do you enjoy walks in the park? Yes or no? Alternatively, the test could present a statement and the respondent needs to say how much they agree or disagree with it. It's known as a Likert scale. I enjoy walks in the park. Strongly disagree, agree, strongly agree. Answers in the self-report measure represents a respondent's report of their own behavior around a select topic. The goal of these questionnaires is to offer an interpretation of who we are based on how we choose to answer a set of targeted questions. However, how accurate are these interpretations? Which superhero are you? To find out if this hypothetical questionnaire is a good self-report measure, we need to look at the concepts of validity and reliability. Validity and reliability are structural concepts related to how we interpret questionnaire results. Validity assesses questionnaire trustworthiness. It looks at the degree to which a questionnaire measures what it intends to measure. A valid superhero quiz would accurately assess traits relevant to superhero archetypes. Does it measure leadership, resilience, or even your preferred superpower? Reliability is a necessary but not sufficient aspect of validity. It encompasses both consistency and precision of questionnaire results. Consistency refers to whether answers remain the same if the test is repeated by same individuals or groups. Precision looks at the questions themselves, also known as items. Do they all measure the same construct, and do they do so consistently? A reliable superhero questionnaire would not give different results every time you took it. Assuming that your traits did not change, you would not be Batman one day and Superman the next. If reliability implies consistency and precision, then a lack of reliability would imply inconsistency and imprecision. Both of these are associated to what we call measurement error. We can understand measurement error as a change in answer scores resulting from factors that are not associated to what is being measured. One of these factors is context. What is the environment in which the questionnaire is taking place? Is it taken online, in person, or in public? Is there loud, distracting construction noise outside? A second factor is the test taker themselves. Are there characteristics related to the person answering that influence how the results could be interpreted? Are they nervous, tired, or visually impaired? The last factor relates to the test itself. Are the questions legible and written in a language that is understandable? When it comes to self-report measures, the most significant contributors to measurement error are factors associated to the test taker and the test itself. Test takers have proclivities towards response bias, which are tendencies to answer survey questions in a way that distorts the actual interpretation of the results. One of these biases is social desirability. This is a tendency to respond in a way that presents the respondent in a favorable manner. Disagreeing with the statement, "I use my superpowers to help people," can be seen as socially undesirable. This will lead respondents to agree with it and skew the results away from what the question is measuring. As for the characteristics of the test itself, the way in which the questions are phrased directly impact validity and reliability. For example, double-barreled questions present responders with two queries in a single question. preventing individuals from precisely answering and leading to confusion in the answer's interpretation. Do you get your superpowers from the moon and the sun? A question such as this assumes both the sun and the moon as the source of power. It does not allow the respondent to detail the differences between the two in their answer. Creating a valid and reliable psychometric questionnaire involves a lot of hard work and dedication from a team of qualified researchers. However, the results of such a project can benefit many areas of society. Let's look at some practical use examples of actual valid and reliable self-report measures. The Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Checklist for DSM-5, or PCL-5, is a validated self-report measure used in the field of clinical psychology to assess post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms. It does not diagnose PTSD by itself, but instead helps to screen for symptoms and evaluate treatment outcomes for individuals suffering from PTSD and other trauma-related disorders. In the field of business, there's the Individual Work Performance Questionnaire, or IWPQ. It is meant as a self-report assessment of workplace performance, looking at three main dimensions of job performance: task performance, contextual performance, and counterproductive work behavior. For use in government, Matrix Predictive Uniform Law Enforcement Evaluation Selection, or MPULSE, is the standard for law enforcement candidate selection. It is a self-report measure that looks at responders' attitudes and beliefs towards law enforcement and its culture. It is an integral part of the larger law enforcement candidate selection process. So let's come back to our hypothetical superhero questionnaire. What do we need to keep in mind if we want to revise it into a valid and reliable measure? Well, first we would change its name to something like Superhero Ultimate Profile Evaluation Revised, or SUPER. Second, we would need to determine whether the questionnaire actually assesses elements of the superhero archetype, and not other constructs. This would define the questionnaires' validity. Third, we would need to assess the reliability of SUPER by looking at consistency, whether repeating the questionnaire results in similar answers in same individuals or groups, and precision, whether each item of the questionnaire actually measures something related to what superheroes are. Finally, we would need to control for measurement error and take into account the factors which could influence how we interpret the questionnaire results. So next time you decide to complete one of those online pop culture questionnaires and you don't get the results that you wanted, well, now you can rest easy, knowing that the quiz most likely wasn't a valid and reliable measure in the first place. Or at least, I hope so.